Hi there, my name's Simon Drew, and welcome to the Practical Stoic Podcast, where I give you practical Stoic advice for modern times. If you'd like to see more information about this podcast, or if you'd like to see more of my free resources, just go to my website. It's risetothegoodlife.com. But for now, I really hope that you enjoy this podcast, and if you do, then I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe on iTunes and leave a positive review so that more people can have the chance to listen to this great work. Hi there, my name's Simon Drew, and welcome to the Practical Stoic Podcast. I'm so grateful that you're here listening to this, and I've just been so appreciative of all of the people who have been listening and also reviewing the podcast and taking the time to send me messages or emails with their feedback. So I just want to start the episode by really sending some gratitude out there to those of you who have taken that time. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't got in contact with me so far, please feel free to do so and let me know what your thoughts are about the podcast so far. But moving on, in this episode, I'll be talking to those of you who are currently on a journey of life change. I'm speaking to those of you who want more than just the average existence, those who want everything that life can offer. The Stoics of the past were masters of life change, and they also knew exactly what challenges came with the rise to the good life. One of these challenges comes in the form of those people who we surround ourselves with. If you wish to live on purpose, then you should be clear that not only must you surround yourself with people who will take you higher, but you must also let go of those who are dragging you down or criticizing your endeavors. It is often the case that those who you believe to be closest to you will resist or mock your intentions to change. They will question your motives, laugh at your goals, and pester you until you yourself question why you would wish to change. They may tear away at your belief, all the while working under the guise that there is nothing wrong with you, and that you need not improve or change. They are right. There is nothing wrong with you. But if there are belief systems or habits that are holding you back from true fulfillment, then you must work to change for the better. If virtue is the goal, then one must constantly cultivate a more pure mind. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus knew all about the criticism that came with life change. After all, he was a lifelong learner and a master of personal improvement. In one of his teachings, Epictetus says that, quote, "Those who pursue the higher life of wisdom, who seek to live by spiritual principles, must be prepared to be laughed at and condemned. Many people who have progressively lowered their personal standards in an attempt to win social acceptance and life's comforts bitterly resent those of philosophical bent who refuse to compromise their spiritual ideals and who seek to better themselves. Never live your life in reaction to these diminished souls. Be compassionate towards them, and at the same time hold to what you know is good." End quote. We must not be misled by the criticism of others, and even though we cannot show hostility towards their ways, we can still let go of them and allow these people to find their place in the world as we work towards finding our own. We must love those who would laugh at us, but at the same time we need to make it clear that we are not on the same journey as they are, and we will not accept mediocrity on our path. I like to call this a harmonious detachment from negative people. See, Stoics teach that we should be in the world, but not of the world. We should be in the crowd, but we should not be a part of the crowd. Stoics should shine as examples of what a virtuous life truly is, and to do this we must be apart from the status quo. Epictetus went on to say, quote, "It is your job to comfort yourself humbly and to consistently hew to your moral ideals. Cling to what you know in your heart is best. Then, if you are steadfast, the very people who ridiculed you will come to admire you." End quote. Maybe those who are closest to you will not follow or join you on your path, but it is not your duty to convince them of a higher way of living. You need only to continue on your way to the good life. Those people who are trying to hold you back are not acting out of love, but rather they are acting out of fear disguised as love. They fear that you will leave the herd. They fear that they will lose a friend. They fear that your quest for a better life will take you to places that they couldn't even imagine traveling to. Their bickering and scurrying to keep you within their grasp is a part of their evolution, not yours. You were not meant for such restriction. You have a higher purpose, and you are within reach of happiness and fulfillment that is invisible to those who would hold you back. Keep the vision and press on. Walk away from those who would hold you back. And then, as they see your light shine, those same people will, as Epictetus said, come to admire you. Show people your strength by your example. One final piece of advice from Epictetus is this, quote, "Content yourself with being a lover of wisdom, a seeker of the truth. Return and return again to what is essential and worthy." End quote. What we must do is cut out the influence from the crowd who would have us conform. We should continue on our rise to the good life, and we must know that it is within our power to not be influenced by the doubters. The life of wisdom and truth is not always popular, and if we are to experience the true fulfillment that comes from this life, then we must walk away from those relationships that are holding us down and run towards the relationships that will take us higher. Dismiss yourself from those who condemn or criticize you, and search for the people who understand your purpose. Only then will you be free to truly pursue the good life. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And before I go, if you'd like more information or to see the show notes, then you can head to my website. It's risetothegoodlife.com. There I have heaps of blog posts, another podcast called Searching for Good, and much more free stuff. If you would prefer to follow me on Facebook, then you can find me at Daily Stoic Quotes, or just my name, Simon Drew. On my Daily Stoic Quotes page, as the name suggests, I post an amazing Stoic quote every single day, so like that if you want to be inspired daily by the great Stoic philosophers. But until next time, thank you so much for listening, and I hope that this episode has helped you on your rise to the good life. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Practical Stoic Podcast. I really hope that it's valuable to you, and I really hope that it helps you to live a better life. If it has been valuable to you, please don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and leave a positive review. If you'd like to see more free resources, just go to my website. It's risetothegoodlife.com.